Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were meant for more? Like there's an unstoppable, powerful version of you buried beneath fear, doubt, and excuses, just waiting to be unleashed? You see people rising. You see them achieving. You see them breaking free from the system, controlling their wealth, their time, their destiny. And you wonder, why not me? I'll tell you why. Because the world has conditioned you to stay blind, to stay weak, to stay exactly where you are. Not anymore. Because in the next 10 lessons, I'm going to show you exactly how to reprogram your mind for success, for power, for complete control over your life. This is not about wishful thinking. This is not about empty motivation. This is about war. A war against the beliefs that keep you small. A war against the distractions that steal your future. A war against the weak version of you that dies today. Through these lessons, you will learn how to rewire your brain for unstoppable motivation, how to turn pain into power and anger into fuel, how to control your subconscious mind and command it to work for you, how to build unshakable discipline, the foundation of every great leader, and most importantly, how to take full control of your destiny. By the time you finish this, you won't recognize yourself, because the weak, hesitant, doubtful version of you, it won't survive. So if you're ready to break free, if you're ready to become something dangerous, if you're ready to step into the life you were meant for, then listen carefully. Watch until the end, because this changes everything. Lesson 1. The power of the mind. Understanding your potential. Have you ever looked at your life and felt trapped? Like you were meant for more, yet something invisible, holds you back? That something is your mind. Not the world, not your past, not the people who doubted you. Your mind. Because inside your skull lies the most powerful weapon on this planet. A force that has shaped empires, built fortunes, and shattered every limit ever imposed. But here's the brutal truth. Most people will never unlock even a fraction of it. Why? Because they are prisoners of their own thoughts. Their minds are not their own. They are programmed by fear, by doubt, by voices that are not theirs. Parents, teachers, society. A lifetime of being told what they can and cannot do. A lifetime of conditioning. And you have two choices. Stay in the cage they built for you, or tear it down. Understand this. Your mind is the architect of your reality. Every success, every failure, every dollar in your pocket, every moment of weakness, it all begins in one place. Inside. Right now, you are either programming yourself for power, or you are reinforcing your own chains. Every time you tell yourself you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, you are strengthening the prison. You are becoming your own captor. But if you dare, if you are willing to reclaim your mind, you will taste something few ever do. Freedom. Not the kind sold in slogans. Not the kind handed down by those in power. I'm talking about real freedom. The kind that lets you wake up every day knowing you control the game. The kind that lets you decide your fate. Without apology, without hesitation. But it won't come easy. You will have to fight for it. Fight against every thought that tells you to quit. Against every voice that whispers, it's too late. Against the habits, the excuses, the lies you've told yourself for years. And the moment you win that battle, the moment you refuse to be a victim of your own mind, everything changes. Because when you take control of your mind, you take control of your life. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not a slave to your past. You are powerful beyond measure, but only if you decide. So what will it be? Will you continue living in the mental prison built for you? Or will you break the chains and step into the world as the force you were always meant to be? Choose. Lesson 2. The pain-pleasure principle. Rewiring your motivation. Let's talk about control. Not the kind they want you to believe in. The kind wrapped in comfort and convenience. No, I'm talking about real control. The kind that separates the powerful from the powerless. And it all comes down to one thing: pain and pleasure. You are nothing more than a product of what you associate pain with, and what you associate pleasure with. Every choice you make, every habit you keep, every excuse you cling to, it all comes down to this principle. Most people are trapped because they've been programmed to chase cheap pleasure and run from necessary pain. They eat what numbs them, watch what distracts them, live inside routines that keep them weak. All because they associate the hard things, the necessary things, with suffering. And that is why they fail. You want success? Then you have to flip the script. You have to rewire your mind to crave the struggle, to seek out the work, to understand at your core that pleasure is the reward of those who have earned it through fire. Think about it. Right now, what does pain mean to you? Pain of discipline, pain of sacrifice, pain of staying focused while others waste time. And what does pleasure mean to you? A few extra hours of sleep, a weekend of distraction, another year of comfort that leads nowhere? If that's your reality, then you have already lost. But you can change it. You must change it. From this moment forward, pain is no longer your enemy. It is your greatest ally. Pain is the sculptor, the builder, the force that carves out the version of you that is unstoppable. You must teach your mind to love it, to crave it. And pleasure, you earn it. You dictate it. You take it only when the work is done. Because when you do this, something changes inside you. You become dangerous. You stop hesitating. You stop running. Because the ones who have mastered this, who have trained their minds to seek the right pain and reject the wrong pleasure, those are the ones who rise. So let me ask you, how much longer will you let comfort keep you weak? How much longer will you run from the pain that is meant to forge you into something greater? Make the shift. Right now. Choose pain. Choose discipline. Choose to suffer now, so you never have to suffer again. Lesson 3. The power of anger. Transforming fire into fuel. Anger. They tell you it's dangerous, that you should suppress it, control it, bury it deep inside. That anger is something to be ashamed of, something to fear. They are wrong. Because anger, if mastered, is one of the most powerful weapons you will ever possess. The weak let anger consume them. They let it control their actions, blind their judgment, and destroy everything in their path. But the strong know how to harness it, to bend it to their will, to forge it into something unstoppable. Think back to every time someone doubted you, every time you were dismissed, underestimated, or told you weren't enough. Every moment of betrayal, of loss, of injustice. That fire inside you, that rage, that is your power waiting to be unleashed. The difference between the ones who succeed and the ones who fade into nothing is simple. They use it. They don't let anger eat them alive. They don't waste it on petty revenge. They don't drown in self-pity. They take that fire and they build with it. You see, anger is energy. Pure, raw, unfiltered energy. It sharpens your focus. It fuels your drive. It makes you relentless. But only if you learn to channel it. You want success? Then take every ounce of rage inside you and weaponize it. Let it push you when motivation dies. Let it keep you working when exhaustion kicks in. Let it remind you why you cannot and will not stay the same. Because the greatest revenge is not destruction, it is transformation. When they see you rise, when they see you become something they never believed you could be, that is the moment you win. So don't suppress your anger. Don't let it rot inside you. Use it. Let it shape you. Let it strengthen you. Let it turn you into something they never saw coming. They wanted to break you. They wanted you weak. They wanted you silent. But they made one fatal mistake. They gave you a reason to burn. Now take that fire and make them regret it. Lesson 4. Empowering questions. Unlocking your inner genius. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is not talent. It's not luck. It's not even discipline. It's the questions they ask themselves. You see, your mind is a machine designed to answer whatever question you give it. But most people, they spend their entire lives asking the wrong questions. Why am I not good enough? Why does this always happen to me? What if I fail? And when you ask weak questions, you get weak answers. Your mind will feed you every excuse, every failure, every painful memory that proves you right. Because that's what you told it to do. But the ones who win, the ones who rise above their circumstances, they ask better questions. Instead of, why does this always happen to me? They ask, how can I use this to my advantage? Instead of, what if I fail? They ask, what's the lesson here? Instead of, why am I not good enough? They ask, how do I become unstoppable? The mind is a weapon, but only if you load it with the right ammunition. And the questions you ask, they determine what that weapon fires. So stop asking yourself why you can't. Stop asking yourself what could go wrong. Stop feeding the part of you that wants to stay weak. Instead, demand better answers. Demand solutions. Demand power. Because the mind will always give you what you ask of it. So ask for more, and watch how your entire world changes. Lesson 5. Invert. Always invert. The power of reverse thinking. You've been lied to. They told you success is about chasing the right things, finding the right strategies, taking the right steps. But the truth? Success isn't just about doing what works. It's about avoiding what guarantees failure. This is the power of inversion. Instead of asking, what do I need to do to succeed? Ask yourself, what would guarantee my failure? Think about it. If you wanted to stay weak, broke, and powerless, what would you do? You'd hit snooze every morning. You'd avoid risk. You'd make excuses. You'd seek comfort instead of challenge. You'd surround yourself with distractions instead of discipline. So now you have the answer. Do the opposite. You don't need some complicated formula. You don't need to wait for the perfect plan. You just need to stop doing what destroys you. Because the road to failure is obvious, and most people are walking it blind. But not you. Not anymore. From this moment forward, whenever you face a challenge, don't just ask, how do I win? Ask, what would make me lose? Because when you eliminate the things that sabotage you, what's left? Victory. This is how the elite think. This is how the strong separate from the weak. And now, it's your turn. Invert. Always invert. And let nothing stand in your way. Lesson 6. Mental mentors. Learning from the greats. You are not alone. You might feel like you are. Like no one understands your struggle. Like you have to figure it all out on your own. But you don't. Because the greatest minds, the most ruthless strategists, the most unbreakable warriors, they have already walked this path. They have already fought these battles. And they left behind the blueprint. So tell me, who do you listen to? Most people take advice from the weak, from failures, from those who never built anything, never risked anything, never became anything. But the ones who rise, they build an army inside their minds. They study the greats until they can hear their voices, until they can think as they think, until they no longer need outside validation, because they carry their mentors within them. Napoleon Hill called this the invisible council, a room in your mind where the greatest minds sit, ready to give you guidance. You can have yours too. Take the ones who inspire you, the ones who have conquered in the way you wish to. Learn them. Study their moves. Absorb every word they've ever spoken. And then, when you are faced with a choice, ask them, what would Marcus Aurelius do? What would Sun Tzu advise? How would Elon Musk think through this? You will be surprised by the answers you receive. Because the more you train your mind, the more it becomes like the minds you study. This is how you collapse time. This is how you absorb decades of wisdom in months. You don't have to walk this road blind. You don't have to invent the way forward. The map exists. The masters have left their lessons. Now it's on you. Build your counsel. Consult your mentors. And never face another challenge alone. Lesson 7. Self-image. Becoming the person who deserves success. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? Not just the reflection, the person behind the eyes, the one who speaks to you in silence, the one who decides what you can and cannot do. That voice, that identity, it controls everything. Because here's the truth. You will never outgrow the person you believe yourself to be. If you see yourself as weak, you will stay weak. If you see yourself as average, you will never be more than that. If you see yourself as someone who tries but never wins, then failure will hunt you down at every turn. Your identity is your ceiling. But listen closely, because this is where most people get it wrong. They wait for success to change their self-image. They think, once I have money, once I have power, once I win, then I will believe in myself. But that is why they fail, because it works in reverse. You must become the person in your mind before the world reflects it back to you. You must carry yourself as a leader before anyone follows you. You must move like a warrior before the battle is won. You must think like a millionaire before the money arrives. Because the mind is a machine, and it will bend reality to fit the identity you hold. So tell me, who are you? Not who you've been, not what they told you, not what your past says you are. Who do you choose to be? Make that decision now. Carve it into your mind, like stone. Live in it. Walk in it. Speak it into existence. Because the second you shift your self-image, the second you decide who you truly are, the world will have no choice but to believe it too. Lesson 8. The power of self-talk. Reprogramming your subconscious. Listen carefully. There is a voice inside your head right now, whispering, always whispering. You might not even notice it, but it's there, and it is shaping your entire life. Because here's the truth. Your mind believes whatever you tell it. Every thought you repeat becomes a command. Every word you speak to yourself becomes a blueprint. And your subconscious? It obeys without question. So tell me, what have you been programming yourself to become? Do you tell yourself, I'm not good enough? Do you say, I can't do this? Do you whisper, I'll never make it? If you do, then understand this. You are hypnotizing yourself into weakness. You're feeding your mind the very poison that will destroy you. But here's the secret. The powerful already know. You can rewrite the script. You can take control. You can erase the doubts, the limits, the self-sabotage. And you can replace them with something dangerous, something unbreakable. Because when you start speaking to yourself with strength, something shifts. You stop saying, "I hope I can," and start saying, "I will." You stop saying, "I'm not ready," and start saying, "I was built for this." You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start demanding, "What if I win?" This is not about fake positivity. This is about rewiring the foundation of your mind. Because the world will try to break you. People will doubt you. But the loudest voice in your life, it's yours. And it must be the voice that never wavers. The voice that pushes you forward. The voice that reminds you every single day that you are not here to surrender. You are here to conquer. So from this moment on, there is a new law in your life. You will speak power into yourself. You will speak victory into existence. And you will never, never allow weakness to have the final word. Lesson 9. Focus and discipline. The key to long-term success. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants power. Everyone wants to stand at the top and look down at the life they built with their own two hands. But very few will ever make it. Not because they aren't smart enough. Not because they aren't capable enough. But because they lack the one thing that separates the elite from the forgotten. Discipline. Forget motivation. Motivation is a liar. It comes and goes. It fades when things get hard. It abandons you when you need it most. But discipline stays. Discipline is what gets you up when the world tells you to stay down. Discipline is what keeps you moving when your body screams for rest. Discipline is what builds the habits, the routines, the relentless mindset that turns you into something untouchable. The truth is brutal, but you need to hear it. Your results in life are nothing more than a reflection of your daily habits. Not what you do once. Not what you do when you feel like it. What you do every single day. The ones who win, they don't rely on emotion. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't make excuses. They wake up and they execute. They grind when no one is watching. They show up when they don't feel like it. They do what needs to be done, no matter what. That is focus. That is control. That is the mindset of someone who refuses to be ordinary. And the choice is yours. You can keep living by impulse, waiting for motivation to return, wondering why you never make progress. Or you can lock in. You can commit. You can decide, right now, that your goals are not optional. Because focus and discipline, they are the price of freedom. And the ones willing to pay that price, they are the ones who will never be owned, never be controlled, never be stopped. Which one are you? Lesson 10. Taking full control. Mastering your mind for unlimited wealth. This is it. The final piece. The moment where you decide, do you remain as you are, or do you step into the power that has always been yours? Because everything we've covered, all the principles, all the strategies, all the mental rewiring, leads to one truth. Your mind is your greatest asset, or your greatest enemy. And right now, you are either its master or its slave. Look around. Most people, slaves. Controlled by fear, by impulse, by distractions designed to keep them weak. They wake up every day following a script they never wrote, serving a life they never wanted. Not because they aren't capable, not because they lack potential, but because they never took control. And if you don't take control, someone else will. Society will tell you what to think. The system will tell you what you're worth. The world will hand you limits and call them reality. But you know the truth now. You know that power is a choice. And wealth, success, total domination of your destiny, it's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about who you know. It's about who you become. The world doesn't give power to those who wait for it. It bends to those who demand it. It shifts for those who refuse to be owned. It opens doors for those who have the discipline, the vision, and the mindset to take what is theirs. And that can be you, but only if you decide. Decide to think differently. Decide to move ruthlessly. Decide to never surrender control of your mind, your future, your power. Because the second you do, the world is yours. If you've made it this far, you're different. You're not just another passive listener. You're someone who's ready to take control. And that's exactly why the GrimFace movement exists. To those of you who keep coming back, who show up hungry for more, I see you. You're the ones who refuse to stay weak. The ones who choose power over excuses. The ones who are becoming unstoppable. And if you're new here, this is your initiation. The GrimFace movement isn't just a channel. It's a revolution. A movement built for those who refuse to follow the script. Those who know they were meant for more. So if you're ready to join us, subscribe now. Hit that button, turn on notifications, and make sure you never miss a lesson that could change your life. But we're taking this beyond YouTube. We've launched our new website where you can subscribe to our contact list. So no matter what happens here, we stay connected. No algorithms, no distractions. Just raw, unfiltered knowledge that will keep you on the path to mastery. Go to grimfaceofficial.com and sign up now. Because this is only the beginning. The weak will fall, the strong will rise. And if you're with us, you will rise. Welcome to the GrimFace movement. On fire.